my pleasure to come up here every year and talk to you for like 2 seconds before we get the man himself out. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm the editor at Dark Horse on the Whedon books with Sierra Hahn, and I want to thank everybody for supporting those books. Where, if you're not aware of where the comics are at right now, Buffy season 9 is going to wrap up in August and September. We've got 2 monthly books with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and with Angel and Faith telling their stories. And we're really excited to wrap that up. We think we've got a killer conclusion. I just saw some really good reviews of the latest issue of Buffy today. So things are going really well. We're just a couple issues from the end and really psyched about that. And then look for announcements, because as we head into 2014, we're going to be talking about season 10. And we will roll into Buffy season 10 with Joss's help. We recently had the Writers' Summit with everybody working on the books, and Jane Espenson and Drew Greenberg and some other people from the TV show getting back together to kind of plan out the future for these characters. So I'm excited to announce where we're going and how that's all going to kick off. Obviously, Joss has been having an incredible time, an incredible couple of years. How many people saw Much Ado? Awesome. Yeah, it was fantastic, and of course today there was a lot of press and push for S.H.I.E.L.D. So without any further delay, here's Joss Whedon.
Hi there. I'm not exhausted. Why would you even bring that up? It's just rude. Hi guys who are closer. Hi guys who are farther away and clearly way more important. Okay. Good talk. I just want to say a quick thank you to Scott, Ali, and Sierra Hahn, and my Dark Horse peeps for doing all of the work on the books, and a huge thank you to my white knight in the last season of Buffy in the comics, Andrew Chambliss. Great writer, saved me from myself. Apparently, I have an issue with taking too many jobs, and I'm seeing a phalanx of therapists. But they do not seem to be helping, and I apologize in advance if I become incoherent or just sleep. But it'd be cute. I'm cute when I'm asleep, so you'll enjoy. Good, lucky people. No spooning. Yeah, no spooning is heavy. I don't really have any big announcements. Everything that I'm doing you kind of already know about. Much Ado, still in theaters. Do the promotion thing? Okay, so it's pretty much going to be up to you guys to drive the conversation and make it fascinating and beautiful and interesting. Am I okay? Can you see me? I can't tell where the... Okay, I'm still in the light. Sometimes I try to hide from the light. It burns. So if people have questions, we can start that process as long as somebody knows how to line up and where and tells them when to talk. I see somebody at a mic.
Hello.
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 Ah, there we go. Okay.
Hi.
I think you're supposed to sing now.
I can't sing. Don't ask me to. Okay. My question is, you've mentioned many times that if Angel had not been canceled, that Illyria was going to manifest more into Fred, and it kind of happened in After the Fall. But I wanted to know more of like the original plan, especially as it relates to Wesley, because he was going to be alive. So.
Well, you've pretty much laid it out. That was the plan. Ben was like, well, if we have Illyria and she occasionally turns into Fred, it will make Wesley cry. And that will be cool. And then Illyria will have weird identity issues about being Fred, and it will make Illyria cry. And then Wesley will cry, and Illyria will cry, and they'll probably both die in each other's arms, because that seems to be fun. And then they'll turn black and white, and everything will be better.
So we all know that you love to kill people?
Thank you. Next question.
And they're fictitious, so that's a little better. But which death scene was your favorite to write?
It was Fred's. It was my favorite to write, and it was my favorite to shoot, because all the pain was there.
Oh, I'm here. Hi, Joss.
You there?
All right, so you have conquered many things. You've conquered television and movies.
Poland. People leave that out all the time. Wasn't easy. Throwing soldiers under the tanks.
And our hearts.
Yes.
But do you think you'll conquer Broadway anytime soon?
Well, someone was excited by that spotlight. That was lovely. Not anytime soon, because to do something successfully on Broadway, it takes many, many years of work. And unfortunately, I'm already booked for many, many years of work. So I would love to, I want to, but it's not going to be super soon. I mean, yeah, duh. I wear the hands of jazz.
Hello, my hero.
Hello, my villain.
What moment, on screen or off, written, directed, etc., gives you warm fuzzies when you think back on it?
Warm fuzzy moment. Honestly, let's go back to the death of Fred. And not because, the deaths particularly, but because of the work those guys were doing and the day we had and, the capturing the end of it all in one take, having him read to her from A Little Princess, which means so much to me. That whole day was kind of magically exhausting. And for those who don't know, I may have mentioned this in some commentary or something, but the shawarma scene at the end of The Avengers is actually based on me and Amy and Alexis after that day of shooting. So I was like, we have to get a drink! And then we just went for about 45 minutes.
Hello. I was wondering, do you enjoy working with characters that you've created more, or characters that have already been established, like with the X-Men?
It's all good. I mean, ultimately, they get away from you even when you create them. There's this particular buzz in going, Captain America's saying this. but in the main, in the whole, when you do the big picture, creating your own universe is nothing like it. There's nothing better. But in the smaller view, it really is the same, because even if when you're creating something, if you're working on a TV show, you get an actor to play it. Already, you're beholden to that. So there's a history. No matter who you're writing, and sometimes it's nice to have the work done for you. But at the end of the day, it's all just you got to say cool stuff.
Hi, I've never been able to find the answer to this, but why would Giles not have been able to fly in for Xander and Anya's wedding?
Well, I'm glad we're finally getting to the heart of things. He doesn't like them that much. Let's face it. He's a continent away. He's 5,000 miles away. And he's like, do I really have to? Plus, he's Giles. He knows Xander isn't going through with it. Sorry, guys. You ask the tough questions. We get to the tough truths about humanity. I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm here to make you learn and grow and cry and hug and riot.
Hi, Joss. This is Nora. I was just wondering, how is it different for Much Ado About Nothing to be working with a script that wasn't written by you?
Wasn't? It was very relaxing, actually, because not only was it not written by me, it was written by that guy, which meant that not a word could really be changed. So, once I'd sort of taken it and adapted it and made the cuts, because it's quite a long script, and turned it into what I viewed as a piece of cinema, then I never had to think about that again. I had to, all I got to do was play with the actors in terms of their interpretation and, why they were saying what they were saying when, and, just have all the fun of storytelling as a director without any of the responsibility of the writer. So it was a blast. Thanks.
Hey.
I know you. You killed Fred. Not me, it was her.
Hey, I'm a really big fan of Dr. Horrible. I mean, between working on my costume and Comic-Con, I haven't seen it for 3 whole days. Anyway, so I was wondering what the significance of the change in the color of his costume at the end of Dr. Horrible.
Oh, it's pretty simple. He's wearing a white costume, then he's wearing a red costume, which means he's lost his virginity. In the marriage bed of villainy. Yeah, he went dark, bruh. It's pretty simple. I don't have very complex ideas. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa. Okay, so far, if you could describe Avengers 2 in one word, what would it be?
Movie. That's right, we're trying something a little different this time. Or flip book. We're still deciding. It's a budget thing. So, do you remember, I'm not going to give you one word, I'm just going to remember how Dr. Horrible used to have a white coat? The one word I'm going to use for Avengers 2 is red.
Hey Joss, my name is Chris. Thank you for being here. My question is, when Astonishing X-Men was wrapping out, I asked you at a New York con what you were most excited to work on in the Marvel Universe, and you told me at that point SWORD, which is the intergalactic shield you created, the Sentient Worlds Observation and Research Department. And I was wondering...
Response department.
What did I say?
You said research, it's response, but no, it's great. It's fine. Plus he's wearing a crazy hat, so he's clearly not really a fan.
I'm melting inside. All right, so are we going to get to see SWORD in either S.H.I.E.L.D. the show or the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And who is your dream casting for Abigail Brand?
I have no idea, but that's a really good question. Abigail Brand, you know what? I don't know. I can't say. No, it doesn't mean it's happening. It means that when it does, I'm taking credit for the idea. Because it's just you and me in here. Nobody else will know if I kill you. I don't really understand cons very well. And I don't have anybody particularly in mind. The first person who comes to mind would be Julianne Moore. So I believe she could run that place.
Hi, my name is Kamiko, and Much Ado About Nothing is one of my favorite movies this summer, and I was wondering if you aspire to do any projects that are not in the action-adventure genre?
Well, I aspire. I aspire to do anything at all that is in any genre, comedy, musical, many things that do not involve punching. You know, we can't solve all our problems through punching. Sometimes we have to sing. And sometimes, maybe the heads of certain bodies, the Senate, maybe say, instead of filibustering, dance off. Just saying. I love all genres. The only thing, I get stymied by the family drama, sort of, I don't necessarily know how to approach that, but apart from that, I like many things that do not involve explosions. Yes, I'm a Renaissance man. Thank you.
Hi, wow. Just need to fanboy out real quick. I sincerely want to thank you for sharing your talent and genius with the world, and just want to say that you have no idea how much your work means to me, so thank you so much. Anyway, my question is, a few years from now, when you have more time, there's a scenario, a studio or comic book publisher, really anyone, basically gives you a blank check, says you can have as little of a budget or as big of a budget as you want. You have access to any licensed character that you could possibly want to work with. What would you make?
Why? This is turning increasingly into a game show. Oh wait, it could be something of mine? I assumed it couldn't be something of mine. Well, if it's anything, then yeah, we should probably get the crew of Serenity back together. Does this mean I move ahead to the bonus round?
Hi, Joss. My name is Glynis, and I just want to say that I'm a huge fan. Buffy changed my life. And I was wondering, of all of the female characters that you have ever written, who is your absolute favorite to write and to watch?
There's a bunch. I hate to keep harping on this Illyria thing, but she was really, people like Illyria and River and Drusilla, the crazies. It's the closest I ever like freeform poetry, which is that's really exciting to have somebody who doesn't think laterally. They're a ton of fun. At the end of the day, though, I pretty much fall back into Buffy. I mean, she's my girl, and she says the things that need to be said, and then she adds a Y to the end of them. Why are you wearing a trench coat? Is it a thing? Is it a character? Go back. What? Cool. Looks cool. I'm so behind, and I don't understand half the cosplay that's going on, and it's because I'm super fucking old. Where's Space 1999? That's fresh. That's in my day.
Hello, Mr. Whedon. I just want to start off with complimenting you for joining the ranks of Cheaton Roddenberry, Jim Henson, Stan Lee, was one of the pillars of pop culture. My question is that you're obviously going to do at least 2 or 3 more Avengers movies. There's all these other satellite projects. Like Ant-Man, Black Panther, all these that aren't under your control. Is there some kind of consulting element so you can ensure that these people don't go off the rails because they'll eventually become Avengers?
Nothing's under my control. I do actually have a consulting deal with Marvel for not that reason, but it is part of it. I'm involved with all of their movies and a certain TV show. And part of that is making sure that everything lines up and they don't start contradicting each other and all that stuff. So yeah, actually, that's going on. It's really fun too because I get to sort of dip my toe in and sort of have a little Thor time, a little Cap time, and they are, Ant-Man is on the slate already as its own thing. So, and, Edgar Wright is gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it.
Hello. Saw S.H.I.E.L.D. today. It was awesome. But there were these 2 cute, adorable scientists, and I couldn't help but feeling, man, he's gonna kill them soon or eventually. So now that everyone's onto your game, that if you love this character, I will kill them, how do you write with that in mind? Or do you not care? Maybe you don't care.
from the Shield pilot. Liar? Oh, it's like that. All right, shit's gonna get real. I'm gonna kill him because you said that. Here's the deal. I don't create characters so I can get rid of them. I create characters so I can love them. Every now and then, one of them dies. Usually, there is a very practical consideration behind that I then make jibe with the artistic consideration. If people don't know that I had to kill Wash because of his agent, then now you do. Okay? I've said that before. There was a whole contractual thing, and we were having problems, and the agent said, well, if he dies, then there won't be a contractual thing. And I said, don't ever tell me, And the reason I went, is because when you kill him, for the rest of the movie, you think maybe they're all gonna die. You think maybe he's gonna go wild bunch, oh my god, maybe he's just gonna clean the slate, and they're all gonna die. If I didn't kill him, the number of people that I seem to kill and then bring back would be totally embarrassing, would be unforgivable, would be just shitty, irresponsible storytelling. I mean, it's shameless. Oh my god, River's dead! No, she's fine. Oh my god, Simon! No, he's stabbed, but he's fine. It's just like, you couldn't get away with any of that if I hadn't. So, it's not the intention. Sometimes it is necessary. And I do like to do it to someone you care about suddenly, because that's how it happened to me, that's how it happens in life. And the fact that you guys give me so much shit about it means that I'm probably doing it right.
I first want to say how incredible the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pilot was. Like, phenomenal. I'm so excited for everyone to see it. I just want to ask, how was it like developing Thor and Loki's relationship from the first Thor film, and how was it like to work with Tom and Chris?
Divas. It was a lot of fun and difficult. Particularly because the first film, Loki's such a soulful character. What Ken and Brian did with him I thought was so cool. But I needed to do something very different. And to come to that was complicated for me. Helped enormously by the great Drew Goddard, who was always like, if you have a Loki problem, call me. If you have anything to say about Loki, call me. If you're just kind of low-key, call me. And, he was the one who sort of talked me through the idea, well, yes, he was this tragic Shakespearean character, but he fell in an abyss, and he's come out the other side, and he's probably going to be, he can be the guy you need him to be. I spent some time talking to Tom and to Chris before I wrote the script, and Chris was very interested in the brother relationship. He has brothers, some of them are famous, and he hates them, and they're evil. Liam is always plotting. And making Liams appear where they're not. But he was really interested in pursuing the brother dynamic. And in Thor 2, I got to spend a little time tweaking some of that and going back to that. And it's always fun because there's always more to say. Because unfortunately, these familial relations, they just, as we've learned from Arrested Development, they just go on and on. And so there's a lot of variations to play. So. I think there's some fun stuff coming up between them in the next one, and that's all I'm saying for now. At all, bye.
I wrote an essay in college this year arguing that Dollhouse is a piece of feminist work. And
I didn't know where that sentence was going.
I wanted to ask you, how do you yourself, and maybe how should I respond when people outrageously say that you can't be a feminist or your work can't be feminist because you're a man?
I have gotten that. How can you answer it? I can't be a woman because I'm a man. Or I guess you can, right? In my day, we had to walk 4 miles through the snow to get transgender surgery. And we were grateful for it. You know, I think I just don't think that's a valid comment. I think there's a perspective I can never have, and I'm fully aware of that. But whether or not you're a feminist has nothing to do with that perspective. It has to do only with wishing that one half of the human race could be treated as well as the other half of the human race. But if I have to be on the winning side, I'm just saying. See, I'm not a feminist.
Hi, Josh. I'm curious. I just blew it.
No.
Sorry. If you want to beat me to death, that's okay. Maybe.
I don't. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's weird too, because I've lined the trunk of my car and everything, and yet I'm just out of the mood.
Regarding when you first started doing Firefly before the pilot would have come out, and you guys started to integrate Chinese as a language, but really it only ever turned into curse words used in almost every sentence everyone said. Was there ever a worry that you were going to be censured or fines would come floating your way before the show even had a chance to be what turned out to be unfortunately unsuccessful?
You mean because of the language? We were told early on that we could not actually curse in Chinese. So, you know, we would say something, there's probably kids here, but a bad word, there would be a bad word. And they would say, you can't say that motherfucking word. And so we would just make up these, you know, explosive diarrhea of an elephant. We just make up something, you know, long and sort of random. So we knew we were, because they told us right up front, you can't curse in Chinese. Chinese people are going to watch this. We're not. But they might. Oh, and a little sidebar. I recently met somebody in England from the British Board of Censors, and I had said something about being very surprised that I got the word Quim by them. And he told me, oh no, actually we knew, we loved it.
Yes, I'm a pastor by trade, and I loved Cabin in the Woods. And I have a very direct question. Is Cabin in the Woods a commentary on the evangelical concept of substitutionary atonement?
I'm gonna have to say no. I'll tell you why. I don't know what you just said. I will also say it may very well be, because you know, these things are designed to have meanings broad enough to encompass people's perspective that I couldn't possibly understand. And I'm not just talking about BYO subtext in the shipping department. I'm talking about, you know, the fact is, like The Matrix, it can be read on many, many levels. Religiously, philosophically, mathematically, it all applies. So maybe, but not deliberately or specifically.
Oh, hi, Joss.
Oh, hi, wow, it's weird. This is what they call a meet cute.
Okay, so you get to take one of your characters from your franchises and put them on the Avengers. Who are you gonna pick?
Go around, let the man talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be Andrew. Just one Andrew Thor scene, and my life is complete.
Hi, Joss. I was curious to know how you feel starting from Buffy, which, if I'm not wrong, you started in college, to now being a god of Comic-Con.
I like where that sentence went. I don't really know if there was a question in it. How do I feel about having succeeded in the thing that I wished to do? I feel just fine. So I'm a little sad. Well, I mean, I'm always sort of a little sad. But we don't have to talk about that. But, you know, it's harder I can't walk the floor in the same way, and I haven't been able to sign anything because my resources, I'm so tapped out. And I get to look at people and look, I'm sorry, I have to go away. And I feel like I'm disappointing people. I used to be able to sign everything. I used to have unlimited reserves of energy, and that seems to have gone away. And I feel bad about that. And complain-wise, that's it. Are you fucking kidding? I'm a writer, okay? We stand in the corner in the dark in the yard and we're pathetic. And everybody thinks Humphrey Bogart just made that shit up. We don't exist. And then I start Buffy and internet communities like the Bronze start, and all of a sudden, I'm a writer talking to 5,000 people who give a shit about me. Oh my God, are you kidding? I didn't dream about this, because this didn't exist. So, beyond my wildest dreams, yeah. Well, not my wildest. That's disgusting.
Hi, Joss. You're my hero. It's simple. I've been wondering, how do you find time, or how are you going to find time to do stuff like Avengers with like Dr. Horrible? I love both works and I always want more, basically.
Yeah, I don't. It's great. Because I did S.H.I.E.L.D. And I took too many things. I took too many cookies. And I can't eat them all. And so Dr. Horrible keeps getting pushed, and I keep feeling bad about that. I feel great about the fact that I'm able to do stuff like the Avengers, then Much Ado and Dr. Horrible, these tiny little things that are ridiculously rewarding, and that end up speaking to people way more than I think they're going to. I'm enormously privileged to be in both those camps, but I gotta slow down. It's gonna start, you're gonna notice. You're gonna be like, didn't you write that already? Then there's gonna be a cut down on the internet of me repeating myself.
Hey Joss, my name is Matt, and have you ever considered writing, directing an animated feature?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. All my life I've wanted to do that. I love animated films. But I don't want to do, I feel a little bit like all the CGI animated films are the same film. I just feel slightly like the rhythms, and the sidekicks, and the parent issues, and I just feel like I would love to see one of these movies made more of a sort of PG-13, kind of a tougher, more adolescent, like adventure story that isn't just we're wacky, or we're wacky too. We've got to stop the problem. They're fun, and some of them are beautifully made, and some are better than others, but I really do feel there's a sameness to what we're turning out. And then you look at the animation in Japan, and it's so adult and so, I mean, obviously Miyazaki is, but they're not afraid to say grown-ups want to see animated things too. And I feel like it's time, that time has come. I'd love to be the guy that does it, but since I'm busy, somebody should.
All right, so I'm trying hard not to be a fangirl. I love everything you've done.
Fail. Don't fangirl, just that.
But which one of your projects, and which one of anything, do you geek out about?
God, I don't really geek out about my own projects. I think that would be even more narcissistic than I usually am. Maybe I'll try it. And I never know when I'm gonna geek out. I geeked out at the Saturns because they gave an award to Jonathan Banks, and ever since Wise Guy, he's been one of my total heroes, so that was the thing. You just don't know when it's gonna happen. We will never discuss meeting Bernadette Peters, because yeah, I think she's pretty attracted to me. We really hit it off. It happens at the con sometimes, just ran into Mark Silvestri, and I mean, just you see these people who are, don't do the stuff you love, but I try to keep it cool. I had lunch with George Lucas at Hooters one time, which at the time was maybe the most surreal experience of my life. At the time. And that rhythm got a little at the time. But in general, I'm incredibly calm. Mostly. Sorry, I should geek out about more things. That would be a better answer. Does somebody else want to take over?
Hi, Joss. Thank you for looking at me. Assuming that undertaking a new project wouldn't give you or your therapist a collective aneurysm, what established IP that you have not been involved with would it be your dream to work on?
Yeah, I don't really, don't have a huge answer to that. I mean, I do see things and go, yeah, wouldn't I make a James Bond film? That Daniel Craig's rather attractive. And my money penny would kick ass. But in general, I think the reason I don't really have an answer for that question is, and I realize the hilarious irony of the man who's making not only a sequel to The Avengers, but just made a Shakespeare film. I do feel like we are in desperate need of new content. I feel like pop culture is eating itself at a rate that is going to become very dangerous, and I'm seeing too many narratives that are just built on the resonance of recognition. It's not even nostalgia. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that from yesterday. And I think that's going to become really problematic, and although it's enormous fun to work on something I read as a child, two things, Avengers and Much Ado, I think it's really important for all of us to step back from that and create new universes and new people and new messages and new icons so that 10 years from now we can reboot those.
Hi, I'm JJ. I almost didn't come up here because I'm not insightful and I'm terrified.
I know exactly how you feel.
But basically, one of the goals of my life was to have you perceive my existence, so now you are. And basically, I'm just gonna ask you to settle an argument I had on the internet years ago. At the end of Buffy, were Xander and Anya back together, or at least on their way to it?
No, I don't think that they weren't definitely anything. They had reached some kind of an accord. Had we continued, who knows? But we knew we were done, and he ended up with somebody else. I don't know if you've read about this. But I don't think their story, whether or not they're together, is ever really over, because I feel like those two, they will plague each other forever. In the best way. In a happy way. I'm not gonna get a clap out of that one. Don't even try. Thank you.
Hi, Joss. A couple years ago, you were floated for a project that I thought you would be fantastic on. And I wanted to know if you would reconsider going back to Wonder Woman if it happens.
it's not a total no, but it would be very hard. For one thing, I told a story. I never actually, told it the way I wanted. I wrote a version. I liked her. I liked the world. I liked the characters. I didn't feel the structure was right. Then I did an outline where I felt, okay, now I've got the structure. I'm ready to go again. And they were like, yeah, what if you didn't? And so there isn't like, a piece out there that I'm like, boom, I nailed it. She's a tough nut to crack. I don't like to go back to things so much, and I also feel like, there's, again, plenty of room for a new iconic female heroine, so let's look to the future. She's called Muffy. I got nothing.
Hi, Joss. I saw the pilot for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it was awesome. I guess my question would be, will Kobe Smulders be a series regular since How I Met Your Mother is ending this year?
We don't have that plan. We can't afford her. But we do hope to see her again. That much I can say. Right now she's got a whole show to shoot, and then she's also been appearing in films, and so, I don't know that she'd want to tie herself down to a TV series, but hopefully she will grace us with her presence some more.
Hey, I'm Taylor. So I kind of feel like my question's coming out of left field a little bit.
Oh, unlike all the others, okay.
No, yeah, exactly. But basically, Dark Horse does some really sweet comics, like Star Wars and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, they've published a lot of the works you've worked on before, but would you ever turn one of their things into something? I'm thinking Avatar: The Last Airbender, live-action movie. I know you don't have time, but sometime.
No. Again, there's a way into any story, and those stories have a lot of juice. But is the world ready for a Hellboy movie? I don't think so. But I'm trying to get through this without saying the phrase "create my own juice" because I just think that's very well for me. But I'm not looking to anybody else's properties. The last time I can remember, I actually went, "Oh my God, I want to make a show of this." Was when I read Global Frequency, and I found out somebody already was, and it didn't happen. But that was so it's very seldom that I go, I've got to put my spin on this. I'd like to put my spin somewhere else. None of these are working. All of my metaphors are drying up. But you're watching it happen. You're seeing the end of a career. People are like, he's at the peak of his powers. I'm like, oh, so strap on the skis, because I guess we're going downhill from here.
Holy crap, it's really me. So, with the Avengers being so impressive, with melding so many big characters, and with adding things like Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch coming in here, and with such a massive universe out there in the comics, if we could kind of say, screw the legal stuff, what Marvel characters do we want in the future? Would you consider adding, which one of the Avengers do you want down the line?
Oh, you mean like of the new Avengers? I'd take them all. Are you kidding? Spider-Man, Wolverine, Luke Cage, let's get them all in the house. Then I would shoot myself because I have 20 characters to write instead of. I just want to make a movie about one person, ever. God, you have no idea how hard it is. My life is rough. Okay, I'm done.
Hi, my question is, we all know that Firefly has ended in a TV series and movie, but were you ever thinking of expanding on the universe you had built for Firefly in a new TV show or comic series?
Yes. I've thought about it. We've done some comics. Gonna do some more. And I've thought about other TV series that could have been spun off it, and that whole universe still intrigues me. It's always a question of time. It's in my mind, it's brilliant. So is S.H.I.E.L.D. Now we have to make it. Okay? Somebody shut my mind down. No, shut them all down.
Hi.
Hey.
This is a rather specific question, but my favorite episode of Buffy is Normal Again, when she's in the mental institution. And I was just wondering where that idea came from, or like how it existed.
Where did that come from? It came from, a lot of different places. We had for years wanted to do a Buffy's in a mental institution. It was all a sort of episode as a teaser. We're like, what a great teaser! What comes next? Crickets for like 3 years. My assistant Diego, who wrote it, he cracked the idea, and for me it became fascinating because it was about the creative process to an extent. Positing the idea that she had created this world meant that we could examine the world we had created, and we could talk about it in a fourth wall way, but not in an obnoxious fourth wall way, not in a winking at the camera, but really sort of like, how does this make sense? Which not only is fun for the show, where some things don't make so much sense, but also for, that sort of existential moment in your life where you're like, really? This is my family? This is what I look like? This is what we eat? This is just all very weird. And I don't understand how we got here. And the idea of leaving it open to question. Was this all, was this whole series in somebody's snow globe, or did it really go down? And it was fun for me. I did try to put in a line when I was doing the X-Men for Scott Summers to say that he had a second cousin in a mental institution who thought she fought demons. But I couldn't come up with a conversation to slip it in.
Hi, I was wondering what your process is for taking your overall visions and then breaking them down to your scenes and the minute details to bring your story to life.
A lot of the overall vision comes from the minute. It comes from the moments. It comes from, the little tugs and the little pops and the little ideas. Oh, this would be sad, tragic, interesting. But it's hard to say. I wish there should be flying ships. And the whole world should be clouds. And then trees should talk. And you can't, I'm sure there are people who create beautifully that way. For me, I'm really starting small. I'm somebody in that world, and I want to know what they're going through. And so I actually build from the inside out. The grand vision, the scope, the universe, that's usually coming from one person or one relationship.
Hello, Joss. Oh, wow, I look good up there.
This is open mic night.
This is great. My question is, in the Avengers, we have characters that are so different. We have gods, we have millionaires with robotic suits. How did you manage to put them all into one film and sort of make it work?
You sound like Tim Gunn. Make it work. I think the appeal of the Avengers is that it doesn't work. And so just everybody knowing that going in, knowing that Iron Man and Thor should never have a conversation, means that when they do, we can have the fun of them knowing it too. So you're sort of inoculated against the absurdity by the fact that the people in that world recognize the absurdity. The other thing for me, it took me a while to realize this, I think, is because a lot of people were like, the Avengers was supposed to suck. You know that, yeah, and it was like a very slim chance of it not sucking. And I thought about that for a while. And it occurred to me that I grew up reading the book, and also read it in my later years when they did the Ultimates. And my whole childhood with these people hung out. They were in my vernacular. It was completely normal for worlds that didn't, go together to go together. Like Howard the Duck, not the movie. We're all clear on that. Was a great subversive book, about how none of this stuff goes together. There was a commentary on Marvel Comics and on how we see the world and politics and all this cool stuff. And, all of those juxtapositions, my favorite books were the team-up books where, Spider-Man or The Thing would team up with somebody different every week. And I realized that meant, I think a lot of directors in some superhero movies that don't necessarily work as well, they have to talk themselves into it. They have to say, well, I guess I can find a way into this character, this Green Lantern character, and then I'll try to translate it. But for me, that step is eliminated. It's a second language to me. It makes perfect sense to me. All I have to do is get you guys on board with this, translate that for you. I don't have to create it for myself in some way. Some of that work obviously had been done by the other filmmakers, but the combination thing was it just made perfect sense. I always knew Captain America and Thor would fight side by side and what it would look like and what it would feel like. All I had to do was tell you guys. And by the way, yes, I made fun of Green Lantern, but I think Martin Campbell kicks ass. I just don't think that was his thing, and it showed.
Hi, Joss. I've been a fan forever, but I think Dr. Horrible was one of the best things to come out of the strike. And I've been hoping and waiting, and I know that you're so busy, but do you have like a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-year idea of when it might happen again?
Well, it was supposed to happen this year, and then I made S.H.I.E.L.D. So now, no. We definitely, everybody's on board, everybody wants to do it, but everybody's really busy for the next couple of years. And I don't have a plan after May of 2015 because I will have died. It's okay because I peaked earlier during this session. I don't know if you heard about that. So
almost.
No, I deliberately don't have a plan about anything for the time after that. For one thing, because I think that I have a problem that I need to work on, and I need to have a part of my life not be structured, and I need to make room for the next idea. I'm desperate to do another Dr. Horrible, but not as desperate as I am to do something I've never done before.
One or two more questions. Okay, my sister's an English professor, and we both loved Much Ado About Nothing. And I was wondering, when was the exact moment you wanted to produce that Shakespeare adaptation? And if you could do any other Shakespeare work, what would you do and why?
Hamlet, and do I really have to explain it? The moment came right at the end of Avengers, and it was my wife who, as I've said before, said, wow, we have a week's vacation for our 20th anniversary. Let's, instead of going to Venice, why don't you make a movie of Much Ado About Nothing? I was like, you're crazy. That's a month from now. But I had talked about it for 10 years, so maybe she just wanted me to shut up and make it. And she also knew that it would be the best thing that could happen to me. So it really was 1 month and maybe 4 days from her bringing it up to us rolling, which is the way everything should be.
Hi, Joss. I'm a big fan of your work, particularly how thoughtfully you craft your characters. But while I felt that Willow's coming out was very natural and in keeping with who she was, I was always, I guess, struck that Buffy's lesbian relationship felt out of keeping with her character. So I'm wondering if you can tell me why you went in that direction with her character.
Well, we felt like that whole arc was kind of her searching around, and she was at an age where people often experiment, and we thought, she's always had this block against romance, and it would be interesting to see just a different aspect of it. I do think it might have been a little bit out of character, but I think that was the point, that she was trying to do something a little bit out of character. And then there was a lot of French farce people walking in the room that Drew Goddard wanted to write, so. All right, I think that may be the very end of, as we've discussed, my career. So, all I want to say to you guys is, you know what matters most. It's me. But you're here. If you knew what I actually think of myself. But I do know this. As always, I am so grateful to you guys for coming out and listening to me blather, and for caring, and for watching, and for making my worlds part of your worlds. I love you guys. Thank you.